Everybody, welcome to Awfully Silly, the very special GDQ Hotfix show where we get to go through the absurd, the wacky, the tacky, the hysterical kinds of games, all of my favorite stuff that you would see at a awful or silly block. My name's Conception. I'm the host of the show. It's been a bit. I had to take the last couple episodes off, but I'm glad to be back here with y'all. We have an excellent show planned today. A lot of good stuff that I'm really excited to get to. I just want to go over a few announcements right before we jump in, though, of course. First and foremost, SGDQ 2022 on-site volunteer applications are open from now until April 20th. So that's only 2 more days. If you're interested in volunteering at the tech station, camera ops, photography, donation station, and more, we got all kinds of roles for you. Go on over to gamesdonequick.com for some more information on how to sign up. If you happen to be watching on YouTube, go on over to twitch.tv/gamesdonequick if you're interested in looking at our live content, which starts most weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern, and it starts at 1 p.m. Eastern on the weekends. So we have all kinds of shows planned for you throughout the entire week. Your subs, gift subs, Prime Gaming subs, and bits help support our weekly hotfix content, rather. So please continue to support our daily content if you enjoy these hotfix shows by doing one of those things. We really appreciate it. Games Done Quick Highlights is a channel that features highlights of our GDQ Hotfix shows. We got some excellent videos on there, really funny stuff. If you haven't checked it out, I highly encourage you to do so. If you're interested on where to find that channel, you can use the exclamation point highlights in the chat to learn more about that channel. And finally, if you are unfamiliar as well, also related back to SGDQ 2022, we do have the registration opens tonight. I believe it opens in about 2 hours from now. Regardless of where you're from, it should be 2 hours from now. So also keep an eye on gamesdonequick.com if you're interested in attending in person. Do keep in mind, of course, that COVID-19 policies and stuff will be in place, and you can also find that information at gamesdonequick.com. But without further ado, I'm very excited because I am a huge superhero show fan, superhero movies, superhero shows, whatever the case may be, and we have a very special silly superheroes episode for you today, and we're kicking it off with no one else but Faust 4712 as he's gonna run Batman Forever. So how are you doing today, Faust?
Hi everyone. Hi Conception. I'm doing pretty good. Just got off of work and now I'm gonna play a funny video game. A lot of people think it's really bad. The speedrun makes it kind of good, but not really. It's a mixed bag.
Perfect for the show then.
Yeah, it's for those of you who don't know, this is the infamous Batman Forever for the Sega Genesis, and most of you have probably seen the Angry Video Game Nerds Super Nintendo one. It actually made me want to go play the game again from when I played it as a kid. I never really got past the first 3 levels as a kid, and now the speed run, it's interesting because I found out that the reason why playing on easy is really hard is because it seems that the difficulty for the AI is measured by difficulty. So if you're on hard, they're really aggressive. But if you're on easy, they're really defensive. So it takes forever to kill them. So it makes for a very interesting speed run. You're gonna see me kind of do this weird like dash roll attack thing. That's a glitch. You're only really supposed to do it once, but I kind of chain it together. And for those of you who want to know it, how to do it, I have my little console input display controller over there. Yeah, it's a little USB thing hooked up to my Sega Genesis controller, to my Sega Genesis, and then to my PC. So you guys get to know what the inputs are, so no funny business. Yeah, other than that, let's hope for the best. Timer will begin when I hit start. You'll hear a very cool rendition of Tommy Lee Jones going, "If the bat wants to play, we'll play." It's pretty funny. So, and I guess I'll do a countdown. You guys ready?
Oh, we're ready.
All right, in 3, 2, 1, go.
Best of luck.
Thank you. All right, so for the first level, just kind of mash through the menus. You don't need to change anything until the second level, which is the weapon screen we just skipped over. All right, so your basic attack is like this forward B, but then you gotta like half moon down as you grab them while holding B if you connect. And that does like massive damage to them. That's the only fast way to get rid of these guys. If you try and do like the thing like that, they just instantly start blocking no matter what. Can't really cheese them like in Mortal Kombat. Okay. See, so since it's on easy, they get really, really defensive. So sometimes one will just start blocking while the other one is coming towards me. And they'll kind of get stuck in like this weird like glitch state. Yeah, that's when I start doing the boxing. Ugh. Some of these inputs to get down are really weird, even on the Sega Genesis. I know they're way worse on the Super Nintendo, but even on this, sometimes it gets a little hectic. You're just like, come on, I know I'm doing them right, but... All right, so now we're at the boss of the first stage. It's just a bunch of inmates.
I'm just really enjoying the names of these inmates.
Oh yeah, that's the other cool thing about this. Each name is unique. You'll see maybe like 1 or 2 names recycled. Other than that, it's like 98% unique names.
Ah, Riff and Raff, look at that. See what they did there. Oh yeah, Anglophile has my heart.
You'll see a familiar name in the next level. See, that's the glitch state that I was talking about where that little weird thing will happen. All right, and that's the first stage done. Yay. Yes, correct, Jesse. Same developers for the Sega Genesis versions of Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, Probe. Okay, so this one don't mash through because we need to change this to the flash pellets. And the reason why is the end of this stage is definitely a renter's trap. It's an elevator that's moving with 2 enemies coming on each side. And it's well, not an elevator, it's the vault from the movie. And if you fall off the edge of the vault on either side, you just die. You lose a life. There's no, like, you take a bit of health damage and you respawn on the vault. No, you die and then respawn with -1 life. Ooh, they are being really defensive today. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're like just pushovers. Like my PB world record for this run. They were just, the AI was my friend that day. But that's why you want the flash pellet. The flash pellet kind of like stuns them, and then when they're in a stunned state, you can throw the flash pellet again, and they'll kind of like jump backwards. So that's what we do, is we abuse that and kind of like move them over the side of the vault at the end of the level. You'll see. Now we're going through all of the Japanese affiliated enemies, I guess. Shogun and Yakuza.
Try and decide if Shogun there is just like a Sub-Zero reskin. Kind of looked like it.
So here's where that dashing roll comes into effect, because imagine just walking like this. It's slow. Riddle me. We're dealing with dog. Hey, watch that kick, buddy. Watch that kick. For some reason, there's a weird hitbox glitch when it comes to the enemy's jump attack with their kick. If I'm jumping at the same time, it just one-shots you. Like, just drains your health completely for no reason. I don't know why, but it does it. A little bit of safety health right here. Full health right there. Oh, frames are dropping? I know how to stop that. I'm going to stop the stream for 1 second while I change something, and I'm going to come right back, okay? Anyone on the tech team, just let me know if I need to stop or anything like that, if everything's all good. Okay, good. All right. Another safety health right there. Don't really need them, but... Ooh, that is not my timer. I am not in control of the timer. Hey, look whose familiar name. Bye-bye me.
Hey. Took me a second to catch up there, but I got it. Just in time.
That's good.
Didn't know you were famous.
I know, man. Way back when I was 5. And this is one of the longest levels. Like I said, this is the Renter's Trap. This is the game that, or the level where they designed it specifically for kids to waste their time over the whole weekend on this one level, thinking that they're gonna get it on the next one, and then it's Sunday night, and then they're just like, oh, gotta go back. Okay, that was kind of funny. Just one smack to the face, like, knocked him completely back.
Hey, that's all I would need. That's all I would need.
Yeah, probably me too. I'm not gonna lie. This guy's gonna be a rantular? That was weird. Instead of tarantular.
Yeah, and then Viking not even looking like a Viking. Like, I expected the horns and stuff and the beard.
Yeah, he's kind of looking like a weird zoot suit criminal. I don't know. Zoot suit riot.
Yeah. I saw someone in the chat refer to them as Elton John in the 90s.
Ah, that's a great way to put it. All right, so here's that vault thing. Oh, I don't want to die. All right, so now we're gonna just sit here and do this the whole time, and hopefully I don't mess up an input and do a roll on accident, because that's no good. Oh, this is way better than the SNES version. The SNES version has a better, like, cutscene thing before each level. Because it's like a little map thing, like a digital map going to each area. That's cool. Oh no. Okay, there we go. But this game is just drastically better. The Genesis version is, I don't know, call me biased, but I'm telling you, there is a difference between the music too. You look up the SNES soundtrack, and then you look up this one and compare it, way better. So this is the more darker of a soundtrack. It's awesome. Yeah, that's stage 2. Sick, awesome.
Yeah, I gotta love those Genesis jams. They did bring the heat with the music most of the time.
And I think this was composed by the same guy who made the actual Gems software. That guy. He did like a crap ton of OSTs for a bunch of Sega games.
Oh, that's interesting.
Get over here. Giggles.
Giggles and chuckles.
And cuddles.
Ooh, I see we got a little time mechanic going on too.
Yeah, it's just like the movie. Remember, there's a bomb that comes in the Two-Faces crowd, and we got to try and stop it. Unfortunately, in the movie, it's Robin who does it. In the game, we just miraculously save everyone. So I don't even think Robin's parents die in this game.
Wow, so this game has literally saved lives.
Yeah.
In a way.
And it's funny because if you play the game as Robin, how is Robin in a Robin suit already? Right now?
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
All right, so those guys were giant bungholes, but move on. A lot of these clowns are really, really vicious sometimes, but they're like glass cannons. They take like 1 or 2 hits and then they're done.
And you mentioned before being able to play as Robin in the game. Is there something that makes Batman like the optimal choice for speedrunning perspective, or is it just like dealer's choice?
Dealer's choice, but I choose Batman because he's the first choice. So I think of it like, oh, fast menu.
Yeah, definitely faster menu. But yeah, so they work mainly the same in the game.
Oh yeah, I think in the SNES version, Robin is a powerhouse, so they use him. But for this one, he is not in any sort of way in the same capacity as the SNES version. He's pretty much just like Batman, but with like a shorter range of attack.
Oh, interesting.
All right, these guys are being a pain. And unfortunately, a lot of this game's mechanics are just, you gotta like fight all the enemies for the exit to even register in the code. But then there are some segments where it's like you could just blaze through the whole level. You don't gotta fight anyone. Oh, see, there's one of those insta-death kicks I was telling you guys about. Yep, that was 1 life gone already. That's not good. Just gonna cheese them. I swear, this game is a good speedrun.
I'm sold. I mean, I saw this. Obviously, I looked at this before it was on the show, and I was like, yeah, this is a good speedrun.
Oh, you're trying to do the same thing as me? You fool. Oh, and I went back down. That's not good. I hope the enemies don't respawn. Okay, thank God they didn't.
Call that RNG manipulation.
Yeah, that's right. Now all the AI is going to be easy peasy. No defense.
That's right.
And if that does happen right now, then I might have to look into that later. No, it's not. Already tested.
Darn. Too bad. Can't find new strats live. That's all right.
It's all good. I'm sure something will happen. There's plenty of game left. All right, Bootsy down. All right, and that's the end of that level. Yep, we stop a bomb. Look at this really stunning Genesis art right there for a second. Just for that bomb. Really good art.
Quality.
Alrighty, now we're on to, I believe, Two-Face's lair. I don't know why we're going to Two-Face's lair. I guess maybe because they're going by scenes of the movie. I don't know. Okay, so I used to think there was like a back route that you could take because there is a way you can go behind this level. But I found that it's just a bunch of secret areas that lead you right back to this door right here. Like, not this door per se, but literally when I enter that door, that scene is what you enter. And it's like, okay, so you just took me in one big circle to this. So just bypass all that crap. This guy is really tough for some reason. He lives up to his name, Tough Sai. He's just a relentless attacker.
I straight up read that as Tufsy. Like, Tufsy.
Never thought of it like that. See?
That's just me being uncultured, probably, but...
No, it is the highest of cultures.
Batman Forever is the highest of culture, you're right.
Pinky's out when you play this game. Oh, Batman Forever. Hey, it's Big John. Another familiar name. Sorry, dude. Stick to speedrunning. Alright, so a little secret up here. It's a life. That's why I didn't really care about losing a life earlier. I was like, eh. There are Two-Face coins, and you get a life no matter what, but if you get it... Oh, man. If you get it with the unscratched side, you get full health as well. But if you get the scratch side, you just get a life. Oh, they tried duping me. All right, yeah, fall back in that acid pit, man. Help me.
See Black Mask on the screen, which I believe is a Batman villain in his own right.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's humble beginnings as a goon.
And there's also a red mask in here, too, which I believe is another one.
And all these
this
references.
one's kind of finicky. These things are really dangerous, but if we're fast enough, we can get around it with no damage taken, which we did. Heck yeah. All right, this is one of those scenes where you could just bypass everyone. It's fun. Yay. Hey, baited him. Okay.
I want to know the in-canon reason why some of these guys can just blow flames. Got fire breath.
They're pyromaniacs, man. They're criminals. But yeah,
does it manifest like a dragon, or like do they do that trick where they like put like a drink in their mouth and they spit it out? Or I got questions is all.
I don't have the answers. I wish I did. Oh, I messed it up. You're not supposed to touch anything with these things. It's weird. It makes you think like you have to like assist yourself, but no, you just don't touch anything. Just takes you there. Might die to these guys. Yeah. Knew it was gonna happen. Alright, little Kev. Now, what's funny is when I first started speedrunning this game, there was someone else who had the world record, and on this level in particular, this section, they do something and they just completely bypass all this stuff without having to like touch any of the enemies or do any of this switches stuff or anything like that. But I never figured out how they did it, and they've yet to contact me about anything in over 2 years. So I guess it's a mystery for all. This is Sugar and Spice, or Drew Barrymore, for those who, and what's her face from the Beethoven Second movie. I don't know her name.
Deep Pull.
She's in Goodfellas as well. All right, Two-Face, come on, man. There we go. The good thing about this game is that the bosses, you can just chain them like the other enemies. We might get an off-screen kill. Yeah, you don't. We saw a little bit of him. I like kind of gilling him on the other side if he's being a butthole. Just like you don't get to. No one deserves to see you die. The Game Boy copy of this game is superior in all ways. That's a fun one. So yeah, do check that one out.
That's interesting. I do love a good handheld game.
Oh my god, they just one-shotted me with that? Come on, man. Alright, so there is a possibility that we have a little bit of a level skip glitch right here. There's gonna be this guy that throws like a black hole that I can fall, this guy. I'm gonna fall through it, and hopefully what I'll do, because what it does is it drops you from the top of the screen. Well, the exit to the level is right here at the top of this pillar. You just gotta defeat all the enemies before it opens. And I'm gonna try and glitch through it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Sometimes he doesn't throw it, and that's, oh, okay, there we go. Oh no! It does damage to our health though, so it is a risky strat. Okay, we're just getting destroyed.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, okay, we might have to level select just because the enemies are being bad. Throw the black hole. There we go. There we go. Yay, we actually got to show it off. I like when that happens.
Whee!
Okay. End of the level. Unfortunately, this game has no continues either, so this is one of those ones where if you lose all your lives, it's right back to the beginning. But screw that, we'll just level select if the game decides to be really, really bad. And also there is a potential hard lock on this level.
Is this the same hard lock you were telling me before we started?
Yep.
Yeah, so discovered during a marathon run as well, which is always funny.
Yeah, it was funny because we were in the middle of it, and one of the guys' name is supposed to be Cinder, and it was just INDER, and I was like, that's weird. I'm like, why is his name not all the way on there? I'm like, it's supposed to be Cinder. And well, then we found out on the next scene when the train came when I was attacking an enemy, the whole game just stopped. We were like, oh.
So bizarre.
Oh, my lordy. This on easy?
Did you select hard by chance?
I don't know, man. Something must have happened. Oh! Dude, you're such a chode. Yeah, we're gonna definitely die. And also, I think something's up. I can feel it. I can feel it. Something's not right with this level.
Oh.
If it happens, it'll be amazing. You guys will just be like... Wow, okay. Go away. All right, punk.
Punk.
Just keep him chained in there. Yeah, yeah. Okay, it's not gonna hard lock. That was him, Cinder. He had the seed.
I was looking out. I just could not stop reading the names for errors. I was like, no, please. But also kind of wanted to see it, but you know, I was torn.
Look at this guy. Look at this, like the last pixel of like faith. Oh, don't uppercut me. Don't kill me right now, right at this level.
Ooh.
There we go.
Ooh.
Don't worry. Oh no. Oh, get up there, get up there. Okay. Woo, full health.
Oh. Ooh. On the edge of my seat. Not gonna lie. I was like, Necroman's gonna end this for us.
No way. Evil, death, and zombie. No match. Okay. No. Oh, invisible enemy, get out of here. Hey. He grabbed his
Shout
own
out to the train. It looked like you got hit by the train from my perspective.
Oh, he did. He definitely
nice.
did. Oh, that's it. I died to the electricity. Dude, seriously. Every GDQ that I've shown this in, I did it on a one and done thing too. Same thing happened, man. But every other marathon I've done it besides that and Big Bad Gameathon. But left up, left, AB.
We just love the extra content is what it is. We just love seeing it.
All right, so we were literally 2 levels away too. Oh my God. All right. Level 6. Normal kill. Easy, back to it. Them good old rental days, now it's called pirating. Questionable. Okay, now back to it. Sorry for that.
That's right. Now I assume we got back up to 5 lives or whatever too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Now we're smooth sailing.
Oh yeah, that's what we like to see.
Come on, Voodoo. And hopefully that also maybe reset their AI a little bit so they're not as you guys clearly saw, they are extremely defensive. Like, look at this.
This is the opposite. They were so aggressive before.
Look at that, just an instant defense. He just jumped and defended. It's like, what? Alright, Eclipse. Oh yeah, the best RNG. This is, if you guys are, you know, about them RNG runs, have I found the game for you? It's all RNG. Literally everything the enemies do. Bye. Oof.
Forget about it.
I will forget about it.
I couldn't hear it because I can't hear the game sound right now, but I heard that voice line in my head, that's for sure. I didn't need to hear it, you know what I mean?
Well, I jumped right into it. He knew. Oh, come on. He just rolled right over to the other side. I should have, like, literally killed him. Jesus. Alright. Alright, back to where we were. No more fooling around. Come here. Oh my lord. Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Oof! Cool thing about the environment tricks is that it works on them too. And their own attacks on them. Oh, how did he get that? Oh, give me that health. Nope, not today, sucker. That would have been an insta-kill.
So we had Fireball, Dragon, and Warlock. I feel like we're pulling D&D themes right now.
Oh, they are. They must have had D&D
man.
that night for this level. They must have just been coding this and playing D&D at the same time. Oh yeah, enemies damage each other. All the environments damage each other. There have been times when I've done runs with this games where they do that jump kick thing that one-shotted me, and they'll kill each other. All right, Wayne Manor. See, look, they could just literally fight each other through me. It's pretty funny. On display for you all to see.
Bill Blade.
Francisco. That one's weird. Hollomandy? I don't know.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever met anyone named Hollamdy.
Boy Bets, though.
Oh. Bets. Where did they pull these from?
I don't know. We got Alfie.
I mean, Boy Bets and Alfie do sound like perfectly goon names. I will say that.
Then just Primate. He's a primate. Stop doing what I'm doing and die. All of you goons.
Forget about it.
Sultan of Swing here. He's got the outfit.
Good song.
Oh my lord. I am like getting sweaty palms right now because of this. They are something else. Come on, Antonio. He's gonna make an appearance again in the same level. Maybe a different skin.
He had to change clothes. You probably got him all dirty when you beat him up the first time.
Yeah, he's like, he'll never know it's me.
Can't go out there in this outfit. I'll look ridiculous.
Dude, this is beyond weird. Okay. Grabbed me by the junkie area. Arbuckle and Jinx. I don't know why it's Arbuckle and Jinx, but okay, there's like this weird laser defense system right here. It's gonna get me twice, 3 times. Hopefully not again. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, whew. Get out of there.
Oof. Phasers.
Yeah, and it's Bruce's own defense system, and it's like, why would it attack me? There's Antonio again. He changed clothes. Now he's got the...
Flexed on us for a second, too.
Yeah. Now his homeboy's beating him up. Give me that full health. Get out of here, both of you. Cool. There we go. Finally. Ugh. Final level.
Coming to the end already. Jeez.
Yeah. We
It
would have
flies
been
when you're
here.
having fun.
Yeah, we would have been here sooner if that buffoonery didn't happen, but it's all gravy. The last level, it's a doozy. They are aggressive. It's almost like everything I told you was a lie, Conception. And I'm
No,
finding
you
out
said-
for the first time.
I mean, it would not surprise me if you somehow picked hard by accident, because like there's not a lot of defense here. They're coming after you.
Iggy. Come on, go in there. Slim Jim. Pringle and Chaz. Someone got hungry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is Chaz a snack? Slim Jim and Pringle for sure. Maybe Chaz was a snack back in the 90s.
I don't remember something called Chaz.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, don't throw me in there. Come on, man. Jesus, are we gonna have to level select again? I give up. I'm done trying to play by the game's rules.
That's what chat says, Chaz mix, like Chex Mix.
This section is not good. Soon you'll see these things kind of like fall apart, and it's a one-shot kill for me. So this is where I'm like nervous, beyond all nervous.
Ooh.
Okay, whew. Okay. Up. This game.
It does the opposite of what you want. Oh, you're feeling safe? Let me throw some defense at you. Why would we want that? Trying to get ahead.
Oh, come on and just grab him, Batman. Oh, come on. Dude. All right, now it's time for a little mini puzzle. Fun. Gotta hit 6 of these, and I messed up already. All right, now we're back on track. Get that full health. As long as you touch them again, it kind of like reactivates them, so pretty much safe. There we go. Puzzle done. Really.
This is where they gave up on the names, Hologram 1 and 2.
Yep. They were like, well, what are they? Well, they're holograms. Good enough for me. Okay. Two-Face, then we're gonna face the big riddle. He's like a claymation Riddler, and I'm gonna uppercut spam him like I do with Goro. He's gonna do like this health thing too. Oh, come on, dude. There we go. If he does the health thing now, good. If not, bad. There we go. He just did it, so hopefully he won't do it again. Hey, don't make fun of my lighting. It got moved by my cat.
I just can't get enough of this beefy Riddler.
I know. He's so chonky.
The head gives me like old school RuneScape vibes. Just his head part.
Yes. I'm glad someone picked. Oh, okay. Or kill me. There we go. There we go. And that's time. Batman Forever.
Hey.
And you are
GG.
correct. PUBG Retro, there is no optimal strat. The optimal strat is survive.
just do what you can to get through the game. Well,
here are my
GG,
tips. Thank you. And here are my
Yeah.
tips. Use the dash glitch that I was telling about to get through the long areas quickly. And then use this forward, B, hold, and then down like that. If you do that, those are the only strats you're going to pretty much want to have.
Well done, well done. We got through it. You know, little tough RNG in that level 6 there, but you did it.
Thanks,
Well done.
guys. Everyone. Conception for inviting me on. GDQ. I've done a few runs for GDQ. GDQ has been a very, very, very special place in my heart, especially a lot of the community members. So keep on enjoying, and hopefully you guys register for SGDQ, and maybe I'll see you guys there.
For sure, yeah, we'd love that. Where can the people find you in case they don't already know where you're at?
If you guys just want to follow me over at twitch.tv/Faust4712 or YouTube, just search my name. I don't really upload to YouTube though, and I'm kind of not really on Twitch too much, but when I do, it's usually a really good time. It's like maybe once a month, but it's usually for a long time, and usually a bunch of old Sega Genesis retro community comes out, so it's always a good time.
Oh yeah, come out for the Genesis goodness. It needs the love. It needs the love for sure. Well, yeah, we really appreciate you coming on, Faust. That was, again, very well done. And for everyone else out there, we're going to take a little bit of a break here. We're going to stretch. We're going to, get your grappling hooks out, fly around a little bit if you want, get a snack, whatever you need to do. We'll be back here in a few minutes, continuing on with the superhero goodness. So we'll see you in a few.
Bye.
To Awfully Silly, the Silly Superheroes episode. We've been having a good time. We just got done with some Batman Forever by Faust4712, some Genesis goodness, but we're going to keep the superhero train rolling in just one moment. Just want to go over a few things. First, if you are not familiar, Games Done Quick does have a highlights channel. It's called Games Done Quick Highlights. It's a channel that features highlights of our GDQ Hotfix shows. And if you're interested in catching those videos that are just wonderfully edited and really well done, use !highlights in the chat to learn more about that channel. Additionally, if you happen to be watching on YouTube, go on over to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick if you're interested in looking at our live content, which starts weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. So we keep the party rolling 7 days a week around here. Other than that, I think it's time we keep the action going, the superhero action, and we're gonna move right on here to Captain America Super Soldier, run by Chicken Nuggets. And I bet if you were looking at the image, you saw Batman, you're like, oh yeah, Chicken Nuggets is gonna run Batman. But no, we're flipping the script on you today. Chicken, how's it going?
Good, I'm doing great.
Awesome. Well, I'm really excited for this game. It is all yours. Take it away whenever you're ready.
All right, we'll just jump right into it here because we'll have plenty of time to talk. We're playing on easy because it's fast, and frankly, it's the only difficulty worth playing this game on.
The strength to fight against the forces of tyranny.
And then time will start when I skip this cutscene eventually. Gotta sit through just a little bit of it.
Waiting for.
Eventually. 360 loading times. Love it. All right, so 3, 2, 1, go.
Best of luck.
Okay. So we're Captain America. It's World War II. We're fighting, you know, the forces of tyranny or whatever. Not these guys, though. These guys are someone else's problem. We're just going to completely ignore them. Same with these guys. Oh, they hit each other. Love when that happens. Not going that way. Here's our boy, Bucky. I guess this is a good time to mention the voice cast for this game is actually a lot of the people from the movie, including Chris Evans as Captain America and Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes. So that's pretty cool.
We need to be a bit more hands-on.
Yeah.
Once again, we're just ignoring everybody here. None of this matters.
Dugan, rally some men and secure this room. I need a working radio ASAP.
Oh, this guy's also from the movie.
I'm on it, Captain.
I can't remember the actor's name. I have the Wikipedia page up. I can check it later.
I got you. What else am I here for? I'm a good IMDb resource. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Dum Dum Dugan. I'll pull it up here.
More guys to ignore here.
There's something huge up there. I don't think it's human.
Neil McDonough, Dum Dum Dugan.
Yes, that's what it is. Unfortunately, our tanks are kind of in trouble here. So don't worry, me, just a random dude with a shield, is here to save the day. Can't actually do anything yet. Gotta just wait a little bit for the game to tell us how to play the game, and then we can play it. There we go.
It's gonna take everything I got.
Do our crippling strikes on the big guy here. And that takes care of that. Now we got a bit of an unskippable cutscene, so I can kind of explain what's going on here. So this is Captain America Super Soldier. I'm playing on the Xbox 360. It also released on PlayStation 3.
What the hell's going on?
A different game with the same name was also released on the Wii and later ported to the 3DS. And yet another game with the same name was made for the DS. This was in that era where Sega was just like releasing every game on every platform they could instead of just making like one good game.
I forgot this was Sega that did this.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I noticed the Batman Forever game is also Sega, which is an interesting coincidence.
Inadvertent Sega block. I really forgot this was a Sega game.
And also, so this is the movie tie-in for Captain America: The First Avenger. Tommy Lee Jones is in that movie as some general character whose name I can't remember. And then Tommy Lee Jones is also in the Batman Forever movie as Two-Face.
Oh my gosh. I am so good at planning shows.
Yeah.
Clearly on purpose.
It's like you knew.
Wow. Incredible.
So as for what this game actually is, the easiest way I can describe it is that it's basically Batman Arkham Asylum, but with Captain America. And like a lot of games from this era that were superhero games are... Hang on. So this game does this cool thing where you can interact with something and it will show the interact prompt, but you can't you're not close enough to interact with it. So he'll just like waste your time. It's very cool. But yeah, like a lot of superhero games from this era are basically Arkham Asylum, but this game really is. The combat system is very similar to the Arkham games. There's no stealth because stealth doesn't really work when you have an indestructible shield, but there is parkour instead, so that'll be interesting. Instead of an asylum, it's a castle. Instead of Riddler trophies scattered all over the map, there's just random crap everywhere. Like dossier folders that don't do anything, and these film reels that the game is telling me about right now. We're not gonna watch it. Although they actually did like make films for you to watch, which I guess is kind of cool.
I was wondering if those are going to be clips from the actual movie or not, but probably not, I would imagine.
No, they're... I forget what exactly they are. I haven't watched them in a while.
But yeah, if there is one person who's going to say this is like an Arkham game, it's going to be Chicken Nuggets, of course.
Yeah.
Naturally, with the Arkham experience that you have under your belt.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, I am mostly known for running the Arkham games. Mainly City, although I've been running all 4 of them these days.
I'll drop from here. Get out as soon as I'm clear.
All right. There's these fun, sometimes on the loading screens there's hints, sometimes there's lore, which is very interesting. All right, so here we're gonna see some ground takedowns, where you go to the guy while he's on the ground and do a takedown. It's exactly what it sounds like.
Gotta find a way
So
to take
our
out
current objective is there's a bunch of anti-air cannons that we need to blow up. So there's 3 of them specifically that we need to blow up. We got a shield. We can throw it at people. We're gonna be doing that a lot. Ground takedowns. Here is the worst puzzle in any video game ever. There's 2 letters and you have to line them up, and I can never find them. Is this one actually? No, there we go. I always like, just for a second, I'm like, nope, this one's broken. This is, because one of them is eventually gonna be broken. I just know it, but I'm just really bad at them. And unfortunately, they're truly random. I tried to write down the solutions once, but it doesn't work. It's very unfortunate. We're currently hearing the voice of Baron Strucker, which I think proves that this game isn't MCU canon, which is unfortunate, but not particularly surprising.
Yeah, we get Strucker in modern day, unfortunately. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, I guess.
Gotta hit them from a distance.
I see something. Up
So
there.
check our shield with these 3 dudes. Dude's gonna blow up everything. So we gotta get out of here. So it's time for some parkour. So what you do is you press the A button, and then you press the A button, and then you press the A button, and then you press the you can yeah.
Well, you gotta love a quick time event that has 1 button choice.
Yeah. That's all the parkour is ever gonna be. It doesn't get any more complicated than that.
Never advances. I mean, all you gotta do is jump in parkour, right? There's nothing else.
Yeah, exactly. Just jumping and climbing and all that.
It's the Americans' Übersoldat. He's a myth, a propaganda tool.
Yeah, the performance of this game's pretty rough. It's the 360's doing what it can here. All right, so again, a little bit more shield throwing here. The shield's not quite at its full potential yet, but it will be soon. Oops. You can deflect bullets, but why do that when you just chuck your shield at the dude? Yet another puzzle. 6. Oh. Mouse doesn't cooperate very often. All right, we got our first upgrade. So what this upgrade's gonna do is basically if I double tap right trigger when I throw the shield, it will try to bounce off of more people sometimes. It's kind of wonky, like it doesn't always work correctly, but when it does, it is very helpful. So you know how some superheroes like don't really kill people, or they like try to avoid killing people? Yeah, Captain America is not one of those.
I bet there's a radio up there.
Definitely not MCU canon
Strong
then.
enough.
I mean, he does shoot people in the one movie.
That's true. I forgot about that. It's been a while since I've watched First Avenger.
And like some of those people he kicks are like totally dead. Like,
I mean, that shield, hardest metal in the world, more or less.
Yeah.
I mean, that's gotta do some damage to the old cranium.
exactly. Right, so for some reason we have to radio in. I don't know why we have to radio in. We could just like progress, but We have to radio in. Okay, so now the game really wants us to like deflect bullets. We're still not going to.
Gotta take them out quick before reinforcements get here.
We're just gonna spam right trigger to shield throw repeatedly. It is a very effective strategy. These scientist dudes always go down in like one hit. So the shield throw is extra useful on them. Here we are.
Oh yeah, that knockout gave me big Arkham vibes.
Yeah.
Big Arkham vibes.
Come on. There we go. It doesn't let you go into the hallway until all the enemies are done. Whoops. Actually, exploiting the computers is good. Game definitely has some GoldenEye syndrome where lots of things explode.
It's come to my attention that our uninvited guest is none other than the American
They're just finally figuring out that I'm here.
This is causing some concern.
It's probably the exploded computers.
Yeah, these guys are optional. Operation Rebirth is the product of scientist Abraham Erskine.
Now this looks interesting.
Some nice
Stark
lore.
would kill me
You
if I
haven't
don't
seen the
take a look
movie.
around.
There's something fun you can do off to the left there, but you'll have to see that for yourself if you play the game, because it's very slow. Yeah, so now there's shield dudes, but their shields suck, and my shield is awesome, so they didn't stand a chance. Roll into the cutscene here. Yeah, get a little bit further before the game takes away control from us.
To these machines. If I disable them, maybe I can do this a little more quietly.
All right, now we have the next worst puzzle ever made, which is very bad if you have joystick drift. Basically, you just move these things very carefully closer to each other and do that. And that's it.
One down, two to go.
You can actually, if you fail that puzzle 3 times by pushing them too close to each other, it just solves the puzzle anyway. Which is kind of funny. It should be faster, but for some reason they like thought of it. So there's like a 2-second delay before things progress if you fail the puzzle. I don't know why they didn't just make it so the puzzle failing just fails, but you know, whatever.
Not a lesson you should take home, which is to keep trying electrical things until it just works for some reason. Don't do that, please.
That is a good point.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
So now the game's going to tell us about Cap's tactical mind, where everything turns into sepia tone and some things glow. I just like to call it boomer vision because, I mean, look at it. And also because it's remarkably unuseful. We are ideally never going to use it ever again. Unless I like get lost or something, which is a very real possibility. Some of the mid-game areas are kind of wonky. I guess the tactical vision is another thing that this game borrows from the Arkham series. But instead of like having an actual reason for it, they're just like, Cap's really smart. So, like, I guess, sure.
Yeah.
Strike 2. One more and that
And
gun's history.
one more of
That's a lot
those.
heat venting from down there.
You pretty much get the whole idea for the game at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've pretty much seen the whole game, but there's a lot more to do. All right, so after doing all that, everything exploded. So I guess that's what we were trying to do, but yeah, don't mess with
That'll get 'em
wires
running. It better
because
not be
everything
when they
will
show
explode.
up.
As you can see by the
That last
massive amounts of
cannon will be
debris
heavy
everywhere
going.
here.
But if I can't disable it, the invaders are sitting ducks.
This is Baron von Strucker. All unassigned security forces proceed to the west ward. Our red
Got our first really big fight coming up here, and this is where you'll truly see just how overpowered the shield is. eventually once the game lets us. There we go. Because it'll just, it's supposed to only bounce off 3 people, but sometimes it bounces off way more than 3 people. Oh, I missed that. It's okay, I can just, whoop. And that takes care of that.
Can't get it open. Where there's a radio,
Guess I got to
there's
the
an
door a little
antenna.
too early there.
Bingo.
I mean, you telling me that shield couldn't just break the lock? Come on.
Apparently not.
Come on now.
Eyes open. If he fails,
He didn't think of that. He wasn't smart enough, I guess. The shield ricochet madness continues. I don't even know where my shield is half the time in this fight. I'm gonna try to get rid of one of these dudes. I missed. Oh, I hit him anyway. Cool. There we go. Sometimes he does like a hammer throw. It's always pretty satisfying.
Gives me big ultimate frisbee vibes. I used to play that a lot when I was younger. Hammer throw that frisbee like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that settles that. We're going to hack something over there, but before we do that, the game demands that we have to interact with this thing. It's probably important, I guess.
Security codes for access doors have been updated. Stand by and take note. Access to the service lift is now as follows. Alpha, Delta, 4, 4, Delta.
All right, remember that, everybody.
Home run.
Alpha,
Better than
Delta,
I hoped
4,
for.
4, Delta. That will be definitely very important later. Another puzzle, F, E, 8, 8.
That should do it.
There's more computers and dudes up here, so naturally we're just gonna take care of that the old-fashioned way.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like this is a lot of computer tech for World War II.
This is Captain Rogers to HQ.
It
Do you
is,
read?
yeah.
But I mean, they do have assuming it goes off the movie, they got that advanced technology, the Tesseract stuff. So
Yeah, exactly. This game, basically, there's that like montage in the movie after he like recruits all the dudes to work with him, and then like the train thing where Bucky dies. Spoiler, whatever. The movie's like 10 years old.
Try to create some diversions along the way.
So I guess this is just one of the things that happens in that montage.
must be.
Alright, so there's a bunch of guys we're gonna have to fight, and they're gonna throw smoke grenades up here. That's a huge problem, I guess. Or we could just do this. And hop down here. Goodbye. That's the bunkhouse taken care of. I don't remember where we're heading next. It's either the motor pool. It's the motor pool, okay. That's off this way. Shield doesn't always target a dude who's trying to shoot at you. Oh, shield doesn't really target anything in particular. It kind of just picks randomly by the looks of it. Game kind of trolls you there, makes you think you have to go right, but the objective is off to the left. All right, a big grenade cannon thing. This will be a problem, right?
Yeah, totally.
In the barn.
Yeah.
Couldn't have picked a more obvious place if they tried.
And that takes care of that.
I could not have seen that coming.
Yeah, who could have guessed that he would deflect something with his indestructible shield? Come on. Whoops. He likes to bounce off stuff, but not in like a helpful way. If you interact with that turret, more dudes show up, which is like cool if you want to blow people up with the turret, but not cool if you're trying to beat the game quickly. Right. Over here. So we've been ignoring most of the random crap everywhere, but we're gonna pick up this because that is a schematic, which basically makes the enemies weaker. Because, like, I guess Captain America learns how their, like, weapons work or whatever. So that specific one makes basically all the normal enemies just be stunned for longer, which is probably helpful. I haven't, like, super looked into it. I just, like, realized that it was right there, and it would probably be a good idea to pick it up. There hasn't been a whole lot of routing or strat work done for this game, because I am literally the only person who's ever run it.
I was gonna say, you're telling me there's not an extensive world record history with essays written about this game?
Sadly not. Although there is a pretty interesting 100% history in my attempts to route that. There's a bunch of dudes here. We're just gonna ignore them. But basically, the way the collectibles work in this game, so it says that there's like 50 ceramic eggs, and when you pick up 50 ceramic eggs, there are no more ceramic eggs. But if you actually count how many there are in the world, there's a lot more than 50.
Ooh, interesting.
So it's, yeah. And it seems like it does that with every collectible type. So that creates some curious routing challenges and means that you can ignore the super annoying ones, which was fine by me because some of them are really annoying.
Yeah, it's also just an interesting concept in general. Like 100%ing a game means that you know there aren't missable collectibles in terms. You can always just get something else later.
Yeah,
that's fascinating.
Again, this style of dude just goes down in one hit, so it's just a matter of, oh, exploding barrels worked out pretty well there. Did a little bit too well, actually.
Oh my god, what is happening? All right.
Let's get rid of that. So now we got this big dude. Like the big dude at the beginning of the game. So we haven't really been using our focus at all, which is that blue flashing bar above my health bar. So the reason that exists is so we can do these purpling strikes. There's other things it's useful for, but it's mainly this. And these are good because they can take down these big dudes in like 2 hits, and fighting them otherwise is just not very fun. Here's another one.
Yeah, that one gives me like Insomniac Spider-Man vibes, like the bigger enemies in those ones.
Yeah. I'm going to throw my shield at this thing because that will help me later. Just something I realized like 2 days ago.
Can't get it open.
Gotta get across this room to where all these snipers are. And those guys are probably gonna like shoot at me or something. That might be a problem.
Only had a way to block those.
Yeah. Well, you can't block in parkour.
Oh, darn. Okay. That makes sense.
You can also just be good at parkour, and it doesn't really matter. Or be bad at parkour, and it still doesn't matter. Also, even if they shoot you, since we're on easy, it does like a negligible amount of damage, and then your health regens like immediately anyway. So it's pretty much irrelevant. On hard, there's no health regen. So that's like not fun at all. Yeah. Right, now we make our way back across the room. So there's a parkour path on the right, and that thing I threw my shield at earlier, created another bar for me to parkour off of. If that bar doesn't exist, the game acts kind of weird. It makes you drop back down into that lower area, and you have to like run all the way around, which I always thought was weird, and that's because it was weird. Even in like my casual playthroughs, I had no idea that you could parkour directly to this segment.
That is bizarre design, because like, why would you think to hit that on a casual playthrough?
Why would you even think to look there for anything? So like, probably 10 playthroughs it took me to realize that that exists.
We're digging. They're turning this whole mountain
There's
into
a big hole in the ground. That's foreshadowing, I guess.
Nickel, that's an armory.
And he would bet his last nickel that's an armory, so it's probably an armory. A nickel was a lot of money in 1942.
Yeah, it's like $42 now.
Yeah. More parkour while being shot at. There we go.
There's something really funny about executing all these awesome parkour tricks just to land and completely whiff the shield throw.
Yeah, really. Those guys are optional. I'm not entirely sure what all the groups of enemies are that you can skip, but I know most of them. So there's a thing that they're going to try to interact with right here that will summon more dudes. Obviously, we don't want that, so try to keep everybody away from it. I think that takes care of that. Nope, this guy's still up. Cool. Yet another one of these puzzles. There's so many of these. At least that was easy. And they don't really they get a little bit harder because they just add more letters to them. And eventually there's a time limit. But it, the concept of the puzzle doesn't ever change. Oh, that was a really good selection of bounces, especially because the reinforcement collar thing is here. If I could hit those, that would be great. Excellent. Now that we've blown up the armory, we're going to blow up the armory.
Destroy it all, but fast. Igniting a few ammo caches should blow this place sky high.
So it lets us interact with this, and then we just gotta leave. The game tricks you into thinking you have to fight these dudes on the way out.
Fast.
And that you have to do it super quickly because you have 30 seconds, but you just run to the exit. You're good. When overwhelmed, try using left bumper to block. I had never considered blocking.
Too slow. Way too slow.
Yeah, definitely. I think dodging gives you more focus anyway, so when focus actually matters, I think dodging is usually better.
Can you hear me, American? Every man in this facility is hunting you. Pray one of them finds you before I do.
We're heading for the estate rooftop, which is where
That lift is my ticket to the rooftop.
last AA gun is.
Let's see.
Yeah, another one of these.
Alpha,
Oh,
Delta,
remember that from
44
earlier?
Delta.
Alpha Delta 44 Delta. Totally mattered. Where is it? 9. Also doesn't help that it's yellow letters on sepia tone.
Open sesame.
Yeah, geez, that is tough to read.
Didn't really plan that out very well in general.
Top floor, ladies' hosiery and anti-aircraft.
All right, so we're gonna buy another upgrade. So we're going to buy counters because counters are an upgrade in this game instead of just being a mechanic like they are in Arkham Asylum.
There's the cannon. It'll be tough to reach.
They'll be pretty useful on some of the boss fights, which is really the main reason that we're buying it.
No time. It's too well guarded.
Get him or face the devil's wrath.
Right, so the way we take out this turret is on this weird platform held up by these cables. So let's just hit the cables, and that'll probably do something.
I sever a couple more ankle
Also, that cable goes right through you, and it's just... Whoops.
One man elude Hydra's elite. Bring him to me.
Get him.
Now. I want to
This one, we have to wait for what's-his-face to stop talking. And then we can throw it.
2 down. One more should do it.
Ignore all these guys. This last group of enemies we do have to fight, but fortunately we can do a super cool power where we just take this dude and use his gun to kill everybody. Hit that guy, and maybe this guy. There we go. This game does not have any kind of colorblind mode. Accessibility in 2011 was not great,
Find a radio and give them the all clear.
Yeah, I thought
especially for a game of this budget.
I thought about asking that same question, but I was like, "There's no way. There's just no way they did that. Not in a movie tie-in game from 2011."
No shot. It'd be pretty impressive if it did. But I feel like if they like thought to have a colorblind mode, they would have like made a better puzzle in the first place. So
That's true.
all right, now we are on our way to the radar dome. It's rumored that Madame Hydra once had a romantic entanglement with a famous samurai. I don't know why I know that now, but I do. All right, so there's a really big gun. We don't have time to blow up the really big gun, so instead we're just gonna blow up the radar dish it uses to target, because we got a plane with some of our buddies on the way. We don't want them to get shot down by the giant cannon. Spoiler alert, they do anyway, but you know, we'll try, and that's what matters.
Strucker is the least of your worries.
There we go. There's not really much else to say about the combat at this point. It's just lots and lots of shield spam.
So obviously we're playing on 360, right?
Yes.
The travesty that this didn't get the backwards compatibility. I have no idea why.
Yeah, honestly. I legitimately would have bought a Series X if this was compatible.
How much time do you think you lose to loads in this game, if you had to guess?
Oh goodness. Every time you switch an area, there's however long the loading screen is, amount of time. There's,
Little explosive putty should go a long way.
I don't know, let's say 30, just to pick a random number. That sounds about right. Oh, here's the boss fight. Oh, let's say 30 times 5 seconds to loads.
Okay, that's significant.
Yeah, so this is Strucker. We're just gonna do crippling strikes on him because he can't really stop us. Basically just stun locking him. Now that we're out of focus, we're just gonna punch him until he attacks us, and then my counter won't work. Classic. The camera is also being incredibly unhelpful right now. Oh, counter didn't work again. Game like definitely works, in case anyone was wondering.
Mm-hmm.
Go. Got our counter in. Try not to waste the crippling strike, because sometimes it'll just target a random dude and like it will just eat all of your focus, and it's very lame when you're trying to hit the boss. Okay, I think we're almost done with you here. Whoop. Okay, there we go. Now we got a little bit of a quick time event.
No, right in the monocle.
Yeah. All right, so that takes care of that guy. I think that's...
Those explosives will take out the supports.
Now we go up to the next level. Blow up the radar dish. Game's gonna make sure we know exactly what we're looking for here.
Have to plant some explosives within the radar dish.
It's got a lot of the forced camera angles. There's our plane with our friends. Oh no, we have 5 minutes to deal with this. Can I blow this up? There we go.
That would be the perfect spot to plant explosives. But it's armored.
Now we gotta do 2 of these dead zone puzzles. I could probably do these faster, but I don't trust my 360 controller. It's very old.
Been set. Now one last charge.
All right, now it should just be a matter of placing the thing on here and...
Swine!
He's alive. Wow. Oh, he doesn't die so easily. That makes sense.
Pity I can't say the same for you. Get him!
I don't have time.
All right, so now we do pretty much the exact same boss fight we just did, but again. We also want to take out the grunts, because we do have to take out the grunts eventually, so you don't want to necessarily put that off. Because the shield will also do damage to Strucker, so you might as well take advantage of it. Although it doesn't really bounce off of him very well, as you can kind of see. He also likes to take out his own people. Shouldn't be too much longer. Oops. Just wasted my entire opportunity there. I need to get out of the elevator. Okay. I don't think that elevator door can close while you're inside of it, but I don't want to find out right now. There we go. One more quick time event. I think Y and then B. Or is it B and then Y? It's B. Or maybe it's just B. Thinking of a different quick time event. A lot of quick time events in this game. Is that everybody?
Last charge. I hope I'm not too late.
All right. 234 is okay. I think world record it ended at 241. So yeah, like 2.5 minutes to spare. And now we have like 2 minutes of unskippable cutscenes. It's like 3 unskippable cutscenes back to back. So Conception, if you have anything to announce or anything, now would be a fantastic time for that.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I did want to point out, so obviously that we're watching some GDQ Hotfix programming right now, but SGDQ 2022 is coming up this summer and is going to be in person. If you are somebody who is interested in attending the event, registration does open for in-person in about 20 minutes, just for the record. So if you're interested, you'll be wanting to check out gamesdonequick.com/attend to get some more information. And do keep in mind, of course, that there will be COVID-19 restrictions as well that you'll want to peruse before you start to make plans. If you're interested as well, hotel blocks, I believe, open up tomorrow. So you'll be able to book your hotel as of tomorrow as well. So it's exciting. We're coming back together. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So just to recap for those of you just joining, this is Captain America Super Soldier, the movie tie-in game for Captain America: The First Avenger, released in 2011 on this specific game released on PS3 and 360. There was supposed to be a PC version actually, but they canceled it like 2 weeks before it was supposed to drop, which is very unfortunate. I would totally play this on PC.
I know a lady named Peggy who'd love to show you
how I want to say. Oh yeah, so the as you might have noticed, the voice cast again is actually people from the movie, such as Chris Evans as Captain America, Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter, and some other people.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I guess I can ramble about Captain America in general. The 3 MCU Captain America movies are pretty good if you haven't seen them somehow.
I seek perfection.
First Avenger is pretty good. Winter Soldier is my personal favorite.
Yeah.
Civil War is also pretty good. There's also some bad Captain America movies though, like let's see. I got this one from 1990. Don't watch it. Don't buy the Blu-ray of it. Learn from my mistakes.
I was surprised I made a Blu-ray of that one.
Yeah, for real.
Was a brilliant man. I have worked to recreate his.
I love this cutscene. He just like he's just like rambling at you, and then he knocks you out, and then as soon as you wake up, he just rambles at you again.
Yeah, you could have done that before pre-knockout, right?
Yeah. What else there? Oh yeah, Captain America comics exist too, obviously. I only have one. It's Captain America, America First. I like it. There's two stories that are like World War II era that are both pretty good. There's one that's like Cold War. That's kind of weird. It's like someone's pretending to be Captain America, and then like everyone thinks Steve Rogers is frozen, but he's also just like a high school teacher or something. I don't really know what's up with that one.
Interesting.
But the World War II ones are pretty good. So that's Captain America, America First.
I need him intact until my research is complete. Keep him secured, but
That's back on my shelf there. I don't know any other Captain America comics.
Yeah, no, I don't know too much. I'm a big Iron Man fan. Iron Man's my favorite, so I have a number of Iron Man comic lines, but I don't know a ton about Captain America beyond the MCU version, obviously.
I'm mostly, in terms of comics, I'm more of a DC person. So I have a lot of Batman comics and Batman comic.
Surprising. Color me shocked.
Could have guessed.
In the meantime, I have other guests to attend to.
This is almost
I
over.
wouldn't want your friends to feel neglected.
This is the third and final cutscene.
If I break them.
I don't know why this one even exists, honestly. It doesn't, like, nothing happens here. The other two are at least, like, exposition. All right. So we have been captured. We no longer have our shield, and we're strapped to this desk, but we're really strong. I don't know why they didn't think we could break out of this. Like, literally, his whole thing is that he's strong. It's his entire superpower. Once he gets reoriented, gotta walk over here. All we gotta do is pop this thing open, which is conveniently located inside the cell, and then just, whoops, stick these two wires together. Whoop, okay. And that just causes everything to explode, of course. What else would it do?
This game is just going from place to place and exploding stuff, it seems.
Pretty much, yeah. Exploding stuff, breaking stuff. The game keeps track of how many statues you break. So you can like go out of your way to destroy artwork. That's cool, I guess. If you're into that sort of thing. Go right through these walls, no big deal. A little weird, but we made it down. More of our typical parkour. This is another place where the game kind of like trolls you and makes you go the wrong way. You're supposed to go this way, but like it seems like you're supposed to go off to the left. Oops. Game does that a lot, especially in this room. This is one of the rooms that we go out of our way to not collect things in 100%.
So what does the timing look like on 100%? If this one is, you got just over 2 hour estimate.
It's surprisingly short, actually, after I routed it out. It's like 2:23, I think.
Oh, wow.
Current world record. Yeah.
I did not expect that.
My first run was like 5 hours because I didn't have a plan. And then my next run was like 3 something because I still didn't have a plan. And then I actually routed it.
Oh, I would not have guessed it was that close. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it's just collectibles, basically. And I mean, there's also extra AA guns you have to blow up, which is funny because like the first bit of the game is just about destroying AA guns, and you destroy 3 of them, but there's 12. And the game's like, oh, you should blow these up, but doesn't like force you to. So we just don't in any percent. But I made that a 100% requirement because it feels right, and this game doesn't actually have a percentage or like really properly keep track of anything that matters. So I kind of had to just like make up a definition for 100%.
The Americans escaped! Stop them!
And they've only just realized that I escaped and that those explosions probably had something to do with me. Because they're definitely doing their jobs.
Mm-hmm. Classic goon behavior.
Yep.
Attention all prison level security. Report to the isolation block immediately.
You're not a proper supervillain if you don't leave the hero with an inept guard. These steam things don't matter at all. You can just go right through them. And since we're on easier, it barely does any damage, and our health just regens immediately.
Yeah, it doesn't even give you any knockback or anything, huh?
Yeah, you'd think it would like stop you.
Yeah.
But nope. I guess they figured you'd be smart enough to not go into the steam, which, to be fair, casually is what I did. So. All right, so since we don't have our shield, we actually do have to fight like a normal person, which involves kicking people a lot. These dudes with shields, we just grab them and or let their buddies hurt them. That works too. Come on. There we go. Oh. Another fun fact about this game, Chris Evans has said that the fighting style in Captain America Winter Soldier is at least somewhat inspired by this game.
I did not know that. Cool. That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
A radio.
A radio.
Rogers to base. Come in. Over.
Captain, it's Peggy.
Or giant oversized radios.
What's your status?
I'm in a prison complex.
Yeah, I can tell that too, because the fighting is definitely more stylized in Winter Soldier as opposed to like the brute force style of First Avenger.
Yeah, like he actually learns martial arts for that movie, which is cool.
Pretty cool. Interesting.
Then Madam Hydra's got them. They're probably nearby.
I'm honestly a little disappointed that they didn't make a Winter Soldier tie-in game. Like, I totally get why, because this was pretty much the tail end of the movie tie-in era.
Try to determine where they're being held.
And this game didn't do particularly well, but like, if they just like took this game and like had more time to polish it, I feel like it could have actually been pretty good.
Yeah, there's a lot of they could have incorporated more of a stealth element there too.
Yeah.
Oh man, the potential, what we could have had.
Exactly. Maybe one day we'll get a proper Captain America game. Maybe Insomniac will do it. They're on a Marvel kick right now between Spider-Man and Wolverine coming up.
And they're crushing it so far.
That'll probably never happen, but I can dream. This room's fun because this light updates at like half the frame rate of the game.
I thought we were lagging for a second.
The game's already running at like 20 FPS, so it's not good.
Love these PowerPoint slides.
Yeah. Fortunately, we still have our crippling strikes. Takes care of that. We're gonna learn about a new superpower, which is that we can just go like beast mode and then just one-shot everybody. And you're also invincible during this. We're not gonna use that very often because it uses all of your focus. But it's nice to have when we don't have our shield. The very few guys in these fights have guns because I guess they didn't want you to like feel overwhelmed when you don't have a shield. Very nice of the Hydra soldiers to be so accommodating.
Oh yeah, they're not unreasonable.
That's good. Let's go the wrong way here. Come through this room several times, so
the lab Zola dragged me through is on the other side.
I just forget where I'm going.
And I'm getting my shields too.
A1686.
An underground railway.
camera just like abruptly turns there with no warning, and you just turn towards it. It's very cool. All right, so we're heading into the laboratory, so we'll finally be able to get our shield back.
Zola wanted my shield analyzed. This is where he'd do it.
This section also really helps you appreciate how overpowered the shield is. Yeah, now maybe you can see a little bit more of the Arkham influence on the combat, now that we're actually doing the combat.
Oh yeah, you can see it for sure.
Turn off this weird scanning device thing, get our shield back.
That's better.
I didn't know you could pick it up that soon.
This.
Interesting.
New tech.
Usually like takes a second to actually like interact with it, but not this time. Supposed to be a guy somewhere around here, or not? Okay. Thought there was supposed to be one more guy, but I guess not.
Good. Everything's still intact.
He's like almost excited about getting his utility belt back as he's about getting the shield back. But like all the belt has in it is like bombs. Although I guess we're here to blow stuff up, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean he has a track record apparently.
Gotta wait a little bit while we get taunted. It's a trap.
They must have taken Dum Dum deeper inside. If I don't find him soon.
Why do they call him Dum Dum?
Yeah, it's just mean.
It's kind of mean.
Yeah, it's for sure mean.
Big group of guys. This time I'm gonna do a weaponize on this dude, and that just makes him explode. And didn't really take anybody with him, but sometimes takes people with them. Is there anybody? Nope. Okay. There we go. Finally, actually got to deflect a bullet. Just blow up everything, why don't you? Where are you going? I'm over here, dude. Okay. Have to interact with this very important thing. That will definitely matter later.
The security codes for access doors have been updated. That BioNTech note. Access to the cell blocks and labs is now as follows. Hotel Gamma 4 to Alpha Tango.
Okay, Hotel Gamma 4
all right.
to
in an adjoining wing.
Alpha. I forget, it doesn't matter.
Tango is the last one.
Thank you.
I got you.
Four. Right. I think we can hop over here. There we go. There's some shortcuts. You just gotta know where they are. I forget where I'm actually at in the story. I'm sure I'll figure it out soon enough. Oh yeah, so we gotta rescue all our friends who are in prison. Imprisoned.
According to the prison logs, Bucky's cell should be somewhere around here.
Especially Bucky, because, you know, he's plot important later. And, like, our best friend.
Yeah, our BFF.
Yeah.
I'll bet my shield can disrupt those transformers.
Ugh. There we go.
Disrupt those transformers like it isn't just brute force throwing your shield into it.
It's what we in the business call a manual override. I have had that explosion kill me. I don't know how far away you have to be exactly for it to not kill you, or if blocking makes it less likely, but that's just a fun fact. You can blow yourself up. So, as we often do, we're just gonna ignore everybody here and just go straight for the objective. All right, so we've rescued Bucky. Now we gotta make sure they can get out of here.
Leave it to me.
Oh, camera's not very cooperative. Takes care of that. Guys up on the top level though. I really wish you could climb these ladders faster.
Yeah.
All you can do is just not look at Captain America while you're on the ladder.
Come on,
You have no other options.
Come on, Steve. Put some athleticism into it.
Yeah. There we go. I was wondering where my shield was. Here we are. Cool.
Okay, we're all clear and heading for the train. See you there.
This random lever that opens the exit. Fortunately, getting down ladders is pretty quick. You can slide down them, or you can just not take the ladder. Because what is fall damage even? Then follow the very convenient markers telling you where to go. They're a little excessive in that area, but it also makes sense because that room is just a giant circle and it's super easy to get lost. So I'm glad they at least tried to help you not get lost. Right now we gotta set up a train for our boys to take to get out of here. Game really wants to make sure we know this train is here and that they're getting on it. There we go.
I've almost got the controls unlocked.
Good going. Is there a way to open that bulkhead door?
Not from here. We need your help with that. There should be a control panel on the observation deck above you.
Copy. I'll take a look.
More parkour. Now I can see the most ridiculous door I've ever seen open. Like what is this? Who invented this door and why?
That way's clear, Bob. Get going.
All right, so they got a train. They can just leave and there won't be any problems. Oh, there's guys that can shoot at the train.
I'll handle
Somehow
it.
we didn't consider that.
Don't stop for anything. We'll need serious firepower to reach those
Don't worry though,
bunkers.
Bucky. Just go for it. I'm sure it'll work itself out. There we go. Briefly forgot how to parkour here. Oops. So I guess we can blow everything up with the grenade turret thing sitting over here. Eventually, once the game has decided that we know the train is there.
In case it wasn't moving fast enough for you.
Yeah. We're just gonna spam this until the number in the top left says 6, because that means 6 things are dead. There we go. And then there's 4 over here. There we go. Pretty much no matter how well you do that, it looks like the train's about to explode.
We made it, Cap. Man, that was hairy for a while.
But yeah, it's totally
And
fine.
it could be again if they come after you. So let's make sure they don't. Rogers to Marita. Do you read? Peggy told me you boys have artillery. I can definitely use some.
Roger, will go, Cap. Just give me coordinates.
There's some sort of range-finding radar device up here. I'll see if I can get it to work. Stand by.
All right, so we're going to target this bridge while
Rogers to
our buddies
Marita.
are still on it.
Prepare to receive
I'm sure it'll be
coordinates
fine.
by Morse code.
I can't envision anything happens.
Yeah, no.
Coordinates received. Get clear, Cap. All right, Gabe, stand by for initial fire order.
Well, this explosion's totally hit the train, but I'm sure it's fine.
One of the POWs overheard a code cipher Sola used to get deeper into the labs. It's Delta.
Oh, there's another one we got to remember.
Foxtrot.
Delta 117
Copy. Thanks,
Foxtrot.
Buck.
Very
Now get
important.
those men clear. I'm going back in to find Dugan and Fallsworth.
I kind of wonder if they actually had a different plan for the puzzles and like those codes that they tell you actually mattered at one point.
You have
It's
to
kind of weird
imagine.
that they like go out of their way to tell you those things multiple times throughout the game, and it just doesn't matter at all.
It has to. It absolutely has to. That would make no sense. Like, it's a weird focus for
Yeah.
it to not matter.
Have escaped containment. Armored security is en route.
It sounds like some bad things are happening in the lab. We got some more friends in the lab, so we need to go deal with that probably. Oops.
Hydra soldiers.
Oh man, there's dead people here.
Got a bad feeling it wasn't our boys who did this.
This certainly looks ominous.
All empty.
Attention all laboratory personnel. There is a code 12 evacuation authorized.
Code 12 evacuation.
Yeah, so make sure you're following the standard protocols here.
Yeah, I'll be sure to do that.
You don't want OSHA coming down on you.
Yeah. Standard protocol just to run right up to this thing that just killed 2 people. Just be like, huh, what are you? I don't really know what these are, but they go down like all the rest.
This used to be a man. I have to find Dugan and Fallsworth. Now.
All I know is it's definitely not a person, because Captain America said it was a
Looks
person.
like they're pulling out the big guns to deal with these guys.
I'm just gonna let them take care of this. Oh, actually throwing your shield here is a bad idea. Oh, okay. One of them died for no reason. That's cool. I can pick up my shield. There we go. Take this guy out the normal way. Save some focus. We need a lot of focus in this part of the game because there's a lot of those dudes. What do we got? 8, 3, 0. Oh, there he is. Dugan, can you hear me? No? Okay. Actually, we can just super jump over there. So take out a couple of these guys with the crippling strikes. Oh, okay. This guy just like didn't join the fight, apparently.
He was a watcher from the
Interesting.
darkness.
Yeah. Not a very good one, by the looks of it. Alright, so now we've successfully defeated them. There's like 50 more. the normal way you're supposed to fight them, is you deflect their blast into them, and then you just punch them in the back of the head after a quick time event. I'll take this guy out the normal way. Actually, no, I won't. I'll take the next one out the normal way. This part's all just about like keeping track of how much focus you have and making sure you'll have enough. There we go. So since I have 2 focus bars, I will be fine for this next bit.
If you think I'm leaving without you, you're crazier than Zola.
It's the only way. We need both ends secured or they could trap us inside.
Good point. I'll send it back down. See you topside.
I love that dialogue. Like, dude, I'm not leaving you. Yeah, you are. Oh, okay. Just like forgot that we could get trapped here. I guess that's why they call him Dum Dum.
Roasted.
Oh, I didn't get to take the guy down before he got back up. That's okay. That was pretty fast.
Your limo's waiting, Cap. See you soon.
Some bookcases hide more than wallpaper. Yeah, there's secret passages in this castle. We'll actually see one pretty soon.
I was just gonna say, do we get to utilize any?
Above us.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've got it, Cap. Keep moving.
All right, so while he takes care of that helicopter, we're just gonna ignore all these people. Game really wants to make sure we know that the helicopter isn't gonna be a problem.
That shot us down.
And also know where we're going, but not really show us where it is. I guess the camera pulls out, that's how it does it. So yeah, a lot of the enemies in this game will kind of just stay in their like assigned zone. So for like a big area like this, you can just ignore a lot of the enemies because they just won't chase you. Go. All right, now we head into the estate. We're coming up on another boss fight, which is the Madam Hydra boss fight. This is the worst one in the game of the,
Looks like the Zemo family was well
I guess, 4, depending on how you count them.
The invader's plane must have crashed near here.
Because this fight is just a lot of RNG, basically.
I do like a persistent suitor.
And also, her accent is very unfortunate. Pretty much all the German accents in this game are, like, not good.
Only delays the inevitable.
Yep, they could definitely use some work. That's for sure.
To my side, quickly!
So yeah, the way this fight works is she'll shoot at you, and you deflect it. And sometimes she won't shoot at you. So you have to wait for her to shoot at you.
Kill him, you fools!
It's literally all there is to it. There's absolutely no strategy here. You just try to keep your shield on you so that when she shoots at you, you can actually deflect it, because you don't want to miss an opportunity to do that.
Must I do everything myself?
And she like moves around the level completely randomly. Think she might shoot here? Maybe. Maybe. There we go.
To my side, quickly!
Your friend is lost.
Looked like she was gonna move there, but she instead decided to shoot. That's good.
Yeah, I love that smoke that just stays in the doorway too.
Yeah.
It doesn't permeate the room.
Yeah. It's the infinite localized smoke grenade.
World War II tech was advanced.
Yeah.
Must I do everything myself? beneath me.
And then eventually she decides that it's not worth it to fight you.
I'm seeing a pattern here.
So we gotta chase her.
She can't have gotten far.
I always go the wrong way in here, but I think...
Come into
Yeah,
my
here we go.
parlor, said the spider to the fly.
This way. Captain America with the boomer references.
Get back here!
Quickly, seal the door.
Oh, man, my one weakness, doors.
It has been proven cannot bust through a door, even though he just busted through a door.
Here's one of those secret passages.
This should lead to the trophy room.
Classic, with the bookcase covering it. This is perfect. They don't even know I'm here. They're watching that door because they're like, he's gonna bust through that door because he's Captain America. But he can't. Blow this guy up, which hopefully will take all the dudes with him. Took most of them with him.
Kill him, you fools!
You don't want to be in the smoke because the smoke can hurt
Kill
you.
him, you cretins! He's only a man. You are hyper.
All right, so she should come down here
Unless you care to prove
now, and then we can like actually kind of fight her.
That little punch. Just a little bonk to the back of the head. Just keeps walking.
Yeah. So just like every other boss fight, spam crippling strikes until you run out of focus.
This is me.
Oh, that one was wasted. Eventually, she just decides the fight's, or that phase of the fight's done. She really has full control over how this goes. Or infinite localized smoke grenades.
They're creeping in ever so slightly closer.
So I don't actually have to deal with these guys at the moment, as long as she actually shoots me, which she usually will. Okay, there we go. So now what we do is we punch her. She like tries to like dodge away with shooting, but we can kind of dodge into it and then keep punching her. It's pretty much the only way to do this fight at all fast. Is she? Uh-oh. I hope she like gets out of the smoke. You can also deflect her shots if you're know what you're doing.
This is what passes for a man.
Let me blow this guy up.
Kill him, you fools!
Okay, that's never happened before. Just having the chandelier randomly fall. I mean, it makes sense, but it's not what I expected. There we go, finally. Okay, I think that phase of the fight is over. Yeah. Now we're back to RNG bullet deflection, including grenades.
Must I do everything myself?
Okay, that just didn't work. There we go, finally. All right, that's the end of that.
I should follow her. She'll probably be headed straight.
But
for
she
the
just
skull.
gets away. You don't actually like beat her. I guess they wanted to like have the villains still be alive in case they make a sequel or something. But yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Madam Hydra could still pop out.
Mm-hmm. So this brings us into the orchard. There is a whole bunch of stuff the game wants us to do, and we're pretty much not going to do any of it.
Got to warn HQ about the skull.
As
That
always.
antenna on the building across the way means there's a long-range radio inside. More more anti-aircraft guns. Shouldn't leave them operational.
Yep, definitely should not leave these AA guns alone and do nothing with them. I love when you hit them with the shield, and since they're like an enemy that can be one shot, they just instantly crumple. Just scientists here, we're just gonna ignore all of them. I think this small group here is the one group you actually have to fight. Well, I'm not 100% sure. You might not have to fight these guys at all. I would have checked earlier, but since it's a console game, there's no great way to have like backup saves. To fight these guys, let's get rid of them just in case. These guys I know you can skip. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, whatever. Just, I love it. Just,
there's a radio
just
in here
walk
somewhere.
away. All right. So there's a radio up on a higher level somewhere. So naturally it is parkour time in this very weird room. Go. Let's interact with the exposition machine.
Rogers to base. Come in. Do you copy?
This is Peggy. We read you. What's your status?
The Red Skull's on his way, if he's not here already. Any ideas where he'd arrive?
Recon shows an air dock on the eastern side of the complex. The Skull's known to travel by Zeppelin.
I'm on
So I
the
guess
eastern
we're
edge now. I need to find
about
a better
halfway
vantage
through the
point.
game at this point.
Their rail system runs fully east to west of the complex.
Something like that. Maybe a little more than half.
The bridge should give you a clear view of the air docks. Find a way down to the rail line.
But be careful. We don't know the Skull's full capabilities and full
Yeah, all we got at this point is that Red Skull is probably here
I'm
somewhere,
not sure where.
and
And if I
one of our
capture the
friends
Skull, I
is
can
still
force him to
captured.
free Fallsworth and every other prisoner in this place. I've got to try. Rogers, out.
Here. I don't think there's any like super high ledges you can like jump off of, but I'm pretty sure this game just has no fall damage at all. Which makes sense because the beginning of the game is literally like you jumping out of a plane without a parachute. So it'd be kind of silly if they like led the game with that and then had fall damage.
It wouldn't surprise me if they did do that.
Oh, absolutely. It's entirely possible.
Dugan, come in. I heard an explosion. Dugan, please respond.
Sorry for the racket, Cap, but that was me being my usual clumsy self. Seems I broke their pulse cannon.
So we didn't get to blow up that big gun earlier, but at least somebody did.
Oh, yep, that's Dugan, all right.
Not really sure how he did that.
Friends of Adam gets this. If we kill him, so let me spare our lives.
You've got bigger problems than Zola.
Call for reinforcements!
Good. When they call for reinforcements there, it's like super slow. Like every time they call for reinforcements, it's slow, but they're like, you have to wait forever for a bunch of snipers to come out, and then you have to like throw your shield at all of them.
Skull in time. If one of these trains goes in the right
Manually.
direction,
No, not another train.
runs east-west. I need
Yeah.
one heading north.
It's train time. This time we have to orient a train. So go the right direction. Oh boy.
4.
4, thank you.
You got it. Make a new category. That's his co-op now.
Yeah. joking with someone earlier about like having a wire in just so I can get puzzle hands.
Five. I'll stop doing that. I don't want to be annoying.
No, please do, actually.
Okay, will do. I'm glad to help out.
You gonna... Oh, okay. You guys aren't very nice. But either am I.
Jack, control hub for the entire rail. If I can just get a train running north, I can hitch a ride straight to the skull.
Let's see. So as you can see, there's a kind of rail thing in the middle of this rotating platform, so let's rotate it. So I was able to interact with it there during this cutscene. I don't know if that actually does anything. It does, okay, cool. I knew it was a thing that could happen, but I haven't actually done it in a while.
It's a lot.
Saves a little bit of time there. Down here. Here's our train. Now we can take our train across the map, but we need to go a little bit faster so that I can like plow through a door over there. So we're gonna hotwire our train.
Doors are sealed up ahead. If I can get this thing going fast enough, it won't matter.
There we go. This will take us to... Where does this take us? I have no idea. Madam Hydra sees Zola's operations as a stepping stone to her destiny. Whatever that means.
That's something to put in a loading screen.
Found some sort of power plant.
Ah, yes, the power plant.
Language.
I've got company. I'll be in touch.
All right, so I don't know what this power plant's being used for, but I just already know I want to blow it up because, I mean, what else am I going to do here? So let's get on that. After we kill everybody. Oh, okay. They frequently friendly fire, which is helpful to me. Oh yeah. I think that sells that. There we go.
Diverted to something. Whatever it is, it can't be good. I'm gonna try and shut it down.
It definitely can't just be a power plant. It's got to be something special.
If I can get up there, I can bring that whole setup down.
It's not like all their computers need power or anything like that. Hello. There we go. It's a pretty fancy move.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, you just got to get there, Cap. You don't have to make a meal out of it.
Oops.
That tank's gonna blow any second.
And that takes care of that. And conveniently, blowing that up has given us a path to the next thing we need to blow up.
I target the right equipment.
It's almost like they planned this out or something. Here we go again with the fancy flip.
Gotta plant explosives.
I thought there were going to be more enemies there, but it was just the one scientist. Okay then. Poor guy really thought he had what it takes to fight Captain America.
That should do it. Better get moving.
I would love to. There we go. That, and as soon as Captain America realizes we can blow this thing up too, we'll blow this up.
That looks flammable.
It does look flammable.
Timer set. Gotta move fast. It's all coming down. One more explosion should finish it. Kill two birds with one stone here.
Gotta hit something with our shield to
no way across unless I make
set up the next thing, as the game is telling us now.
Just right with my shield.
We're a little bit ahead of the game there. You can do you can target multiple things at once with the shield, and like throw it once and it does like this cool cinematic thing, but it's kind of slow and it uses focus. Please let me do the jump. So this is really cool because the drop button and the jump button are the same button, so you can very easily just like drop there instead of actually jumping to the ledge. Oops.
I think that happened in your PB, right? I remember seeing that.
Probably.
Or at least it was some VOD that I watched of you doing this before.
It definitely happened in a run.
Yeah.
It's a very well thought out control scheme. It's kind of a recurring issue in games where there's just like one button that does everything.
Mm-hmm.
So like often doesn't do what you want it to do. Game wants us to do this over there, but taking the zip line's a little bit faster. That makes this cutscene funny.
There she blows. Whatever this place was powering, it's not anymore.
Power plant successfully exploded. Here come all the thugs to figure out what's going on. They just didn't see me. Big guy saw me though. I would like your gun. Is that everybody? This guy ran over here, but yep. So that takes care of that.
They'll be swarming this place like flies. Gotta keep moving. Bucky, I've shut down the plant. I'm gonna try and reach the skull.
Good luck, Cap. And be careful.
So we're on our way to the next boss fight, which is not Red Skull. It's Iron Cross, which is just like a robot dude.
God and country, so that's where all the power was going.
There's a big robot here. It's not that big robot. That's a different big robot.
Bucky,
just to clarify.
I'm going in.
Wish I was there. Keep your eyes open. You'll be heavily guarded.
Actually, I should check real quick. Okay, not yet. Guys, and check the upgrade screen a while, because once I get 2 upgrade points, I want to buy another upgrade that makes the shield even more bouncy. I don't know how that got hit for me, but whatever.
There's something down there. Something massive. bringing it to life. We shut down the power too late. The only way to stop this now is to find the skull.
So yeah, Hydra's whole plan here was to revive this giant robot that they just like found in the ground. I'm not really sure what that's all about, but obviously we don't want that to happen. So let's see what we can do about it. All right, so now we're gonna fight Iron Cross. As always, spam crippling strikes at the beginning.
Don't be a fool, Skull.
But then after this, basically this whole fight is just dodging and button mashing. Like a lot of button mashing. This dude has a lot of health. Not a huge fan of the buttons on 360 controllers these days. I used to like them, but after extensive button mashing, they're not the best.
Yeah, they certainly deteriorate fast.
Well, they're also just like they take a like decent amount of force to mash versus like a PS4 controller. PS4 controller buttons are so easy to mash. Yeah, they didn't know how to make the fight harder, so they just like shoot grenades at you. If I could do a ranged attack, that would help, but he usually does not like doing the ranged attack, like even when he's actually at range. Ow. I'm not doing a great job at dodging here. I gotta be a little bit careful, because even on easy, you can die here. Those grenades are kind of risky. Oops. The only reason this isn't the worst boss fight is because Madam Hydra exists.
You failed.
We got our next upgrade. So I have to buy this because it's just a prerequisite. We're never going to use it though. And then now the shield can bounce off up to 4 people, which probably means something, but the number of people it bounces off of seems completely random, so I don't actually know if it does anything. Alright, so spoiler alert, we don't catch Red Skull. He gets away there. Yeah, just enough this cutscene to see Zola trip over there, which is kind of funny. I don't even remember what happened in that cutscene, but evidently it was not a great day for Steve here.
Yeah, he's had better. He's had better.
Yeah. Bucky, do you read? The skull got away. But I found some blueprints.
So we looked at that map for like 2 seconds, and now we know exactly where our one ally that's still captured is.
You won't get any from me.
It's his tactical mind at work again.
I'll need help getting him out. You and Duke can get back inside.
Hell yes. We're gearing up and on our way.
Thanks, Buck. See you at the chapel.
All right. Good old-fashioned parkour to get out of there. Off to the left.
Helicopters.
Game like goes out of its way to show you the helicopters there, and like it doesn't really matter. They just like throw these dudes into like random parts of the level now, but like never in a way that's actually a problem. So don't have to worry about it too much. Fun fact about that slide thing I just did. Sometimes he just like doesn't land on the ledge correctly and he falls off and dies, which is pretty funny, but not particularly fast. So I'm glad that didn't happen. Oh, Red Skull's over there. We're gonna get him.
Finally.
He's just around this corner. Just around the corner.
Damn, just
Ah, we missed him. Oh well, maybe next time.
Gotta get out of here. Find a path to the
I was
chapel.
baited. I was absolutely baited.
I'm gonna need some serious firepower to take that thing down.
Hey, player, use the gun that's shiny. We're actually not even gonna use the one that it shows you in the cutscene. Oh, that's screwed. For once actually blocking. Right now we're taking care of all those guys. We'll grab the, oh, okay. That's, usually doesn't happen. Let's try that again. There we go. That takes care of that. Now we'll continue making our way towards the chapel after another puzzle. There's a 9 there, yeah. Sometimes it's really generous with the placement of the letters, and sometimes it isn't. I don't really get why. I mean, I know why. It's because the game isn't good, but like mechanically, I don't get it.
So obviously, yeah, the movie tie-in has that. It has that going for it. How does it rank on movie tie-ins? Do you think? Like, is it okay? Is it good? Bad? Just awful? 4.
Solves puzzle. Thank you. Wait, what?
4. Yeah, there you go.
So obviously there's like the good movie tie-in games like GoldenEye and GoldenEye. I feel like there's another one that I can't remember. So this obviously isn't one of those. But as far as like the bad ones go, I would say this is my favorite.
Favorite of the bads. We take those.
Yeah.
We definitely take those. Yeah, I feel like there's some decent ones out there.
Yeah.
I think I really enjoyed the Return of the King, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. I enjoyed that one. Right. Spider-Man 2, I remember liking a lot.
Yes, yeah, that was the other one I was thinking of.
Yeah. I can't think of any other good ones off the top of my head though.
Yeah, it's a short list. So we now have the sewer area, which basically is, instead of just having like a fast travel system or something like that, they have this area that just has shortcuts to every part of the game. So you can very easily like backtrack to get collectibles you missed and that sort of thing. It's pretty nice. I feel like it's probably better than just having a fast travel system.
I hope he's stupid enough to come here.
But yeah, this game has a lot of heart to it, and I can appreciate it for what it is, even though I can clearly tell that it's not great. Alright, we've got this gigantic path. I don't know why this area is so big. It's really not necessary. But we can grab this. Trying to blow all these people up. Ideally the other big guy. Yeah, there we go. I don't mind using all my focus here. Okay, cool. Looks like we got everyone. This brings us to the chapel path, and then the chapel path brings us to the chapel.
There's the chapel, and it's well fortified. Fallsworth's got to be inside.
I haven't actually tried skipping this fight. I want to see what happens. Actually, maybe I have tried it. Oh, you can totally skip it. Cool. Speed tech.
And we're rerouting on the fly here.
Yeah. I like figured that fight had to be skippable, but I just had never tried it in a run for some reason.
I can't walk through it. I have to go over it. Great. Better get out of their line of sight.
Alrighty. So, gotta get through this whole area. Since the floor doesn't exist, we'll just do our skills. If it needs floors. Yeah, there we go. Oh. I don't know if you can, like, walk off of the ledge there, but...
We're not gonna find out now.
Exactly. This guy's pretty angry. Say, if you could blow that up. There we go. That helps. Oh, I waited too long. If I waited too long, I mean the ground takedown didn't work for too long. It's always the game's fault.
Yep. You're playing perfectly.
Of course.
No notes. I wasn't even looking this time.
F.
Yeah. Nope.
Dang it.
8.
Oh, dang it.
We both failed now.
Alright, let's try that again. 8.
8 again. Nice.
They're not usually the same. At least I don't think they are.
New concept art earned. I'd like to think it's because we failed it the first time.
Yeah.
Hidden concept art for failure.
It's the consolation prize. You gonna shoot? There we go. All right, so these tanks are here.
I can use this to mark the tanks for artillery strikes.
Let's just blow them up with some artillery.
Stand by for coordinates. I've got some tanks that need showing.
As soon as the game thinks it's okay for us to do that. You don't have to do anything here, you just wait for it to be full and then hit right trigger.
Fire
But
at will.
mashing lets you hit it at the right time. Oh, and for some reason that radar dish just like stops working for no reason. So we gotta go find a different one for the other tank.
The dish is done for. I'll have to find another.
I don't know why they need like more coordinates for a tank that's like literally right beside the other tank, but whatever. Gameplay. Here we are.
Target locked. Fire when ready.
Stand clear.
As soon as the game thinks we're good to go here, we'll go. And 100% we would go like grab a collectible right now because you're just waiting.
Aces back to back.
Right news, Cap. Lucky Dugan are en route to your location. Get Fallsworth out of there.
I just pray I'm not too late.
Also, sometimes it just doesn't drop off the ledge. Ideally, I would not use any focus on the big guy here. I might need to do one crippling strike. But I want to take him out the normal way because... Oh, okay. He said no that time. Oh, and now he's just... Okay, whatever. Still have 3 bars, so we'll be fine. We're coming up on a... This is more of a mini boss than an actual boss fight. But, you'll see. Kind of fun little introduction here. In this unskippable cutscene.
Fallsworth. Bucky, Dugan.
That's ominous.
It's probably fine. I'm not worried.
There's something over there. not that scary. That, however, is terrifying.
Zola.
You thought me dead?
No one ever sees the CRT face coming.
I have transcended flesh.
Is this a little Winter Soldier foreshadowing? Potentially?
I guess so.
Yeah, interesting.
I don't know if it was on purpose. In fact, I know for a fact it wasn't on purpose.
Yeah, I guess they just got lucky.
Yeah, it kind of works out that way. So I don't know why he's like talking about transcending flesh here, because like he's not like in the robot or anything like that. He's just controlling it.
Yeah.
So like
he will be my puppet, the perfect assassin.
I know this man. He'd die first, and I'll die before I let you lay a hand on him.
How nice. We both
perfect lip syncing there. All right, here we go. So guess how you fight this guy.
Stay away from him, Zola.
Spam crippling strikes. And punch.
Nothing that separates me
counter.
from every other man fighting this war.
Sometimes he doesn't attack, you have to dodge instead. A few more crippling strikes.
But not now, and not before you.
I'm gonna not do a crippling strike. I'm gonna save my focus. And then, naturally, the way to finish him off is to smash the CRT.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Feel that in my soul, though.
Yeah.
Hold on, Fallsworth. I'm coming.
Could have been a good speedrunning TV.
True. All right, dude's totally fine, so we're good. We are now on our way to the final boss, so we're coming up on the end of the game here.
Rogers to Merida. Bucky and Dugan are
After
on their
some
way out of Fallsworth. Listen,
mild discussion.
Target. I need bombers inbound as soon as possible.
Copy. Bombers inbound. What's the primary target?
That's what I think it is. They'll see it. Stay alert with the artillery and tell Dugan to be ready. I'm gonna need everything we got.
Your efforts futile, Captain. Everywhere.
I also love the instruction he gives them. Like, okay, what are we bombing? It's like, oh, you'll know.
Yeah, you'll see it from your plane all the way up in the sky.
I mean, he's not wrong, but
like, I wouldn't be so trusting, even if it is Captain America.
Yeah. Cap should really like give them a heads up. Like, yeah, you're looking for a giant robot. So after some rambling from Zola, we get even more rambling from Zola. We'll go through this giant area. Head into the courtyard where the finale will happen.
No turning back once I go in there.
Game letting us know this is the point of no return, which is weird because it's not. Like, after you finish the final boss, you can just, like, go back into the game and do whatever you want. So, a little weird. So, yeah, the final boss fight isn't really much of a boss fight. It's more just fighting a bunch of these Zola robots while the giant robot does its thing. And then some, like, scripted sequences.
You can only run for so long. I'll always be there to stop you, Zola.
very mean with some of these hits.
No, not the CRT. Oh.
Yeah. Gotta destroy a couple more, unfortunately.
Planes don't stand a chance. I've got to get its attention. Maybe an artillery strike.
Every speedrun of this game sacrifices 4 CRTs. It's not worth it.
With the destruction of each CRT, one melee player starts crying.
Yeah, basically we bomb this dude 3 times and then we kind of win.
Here, you overgrown science project. Over here.
And also distract him because he's very easily distracted for no reason. And some parkour. Wouldn't be a true final boss sequence if you didn't get to use all of your powers. Sometimes that balcony can get blown up while you're still on it, and you just die and there's nothing you can do about it. It's pretty cool. I'm glad that didn't happen here.
Switch bodies all you want. I'll wreck them all.
Alright, so kind of like one of the fights before that I don't remember. I want to take everybody out eventually, so using the shield to damage the robot while also knocking out all the losers is pretty good. That is a lot of bounces. Oh. There we go. Especially when he takes them out for you. It's also helpful. There we go.
Look away.
Targeting the planes again. Can't let it drop bead. This should get its attention.
Alright, so shoot this thing a couple times until it realizes that we're shooting at it. And he gets very angry.
That's right, down here. Eye on me.
Alright, time for the most important deflect of your life.
Like Mom used to say, you'll shoot your eye out.
Hey. Love Christmas Story.
I'll handle Zone.
Yeah.
Looks like I got his attention. Better keep moving.
Alright, one more CRT to destroy. Alright, so I tried this earlier and it seemed good, so I'm gonna use my super soldier power again here. And just whack him a bunch while I'm invincible. And once that runs out.
No.
I've not seen that happen.
That poor goon.
Okay, okay. Ow. Ow. This is not going amazingly well.
You're the future. Count me out.
Alright, that's the last CRT, I promise. Oh, you're still alive. Okay. Not exactly what I was going for. Alright, so time is when I throw the shield at this thing's neck.
Dugan, I think I saw something. I need you to expose its neck. Those cables. That's its weak spot.
Alright, throw at the big yellow things. and time.
Woo!
All right. What was the time on that?
Let me wait a second, get the catch up here. I'll let you know there in 1 second. Let's see. Looking like a 1:54:18.
Wow. That is world record by 4 minutes.
Whoa, okay. All right.
Nice.
We're over here world recording.
Yeah.
Congrats, GG.
So that should give you an idea of how optimized this game is.
Wow.
But yeah, if you're interested in running this game, honestly, why? But jokes aside, there is a leaderboard. I haven't looked into any emulator stuff because I just haven't had a reason to. But if you want to run the game on emulator, we'll find a way to make that work for sure. And this is where I would normally shout out the community, but as I mentioned earlier, I am the only person who has ever run this game, so shout out to me.
Yeah. So at worst, you're going to get second place today.
Yeah, exactly. I can shout out some other random people who have helped. Shout out to John Steven Evil for helping me determine that there are probably no major skips in this game. We tried. I wish we found something, but this game is just like extremely resistant to letting you skip anything. The objectives are super stingy, and like even if you try to like force Captain America through a wall, it just doesn't work. So maybe we'll find something, but as of right now, it doesn't seem like there's anything. Shout out to my best friend for playing this game and realizing that counters are actually a useful upgrade I should buy.
You should prepare yourself for the possibility.
Shout out to my mom for not letting me buy this game when well, it's not that she didn't let me. She talked me out of buying this game when I was a kid and wouldn't be able to appreciate it. And shout out to my brother for buying the game for me 6 or 7 years later when I could appreciate it. And that is all I have to say about that.
Absolutely. And of course, where can the people find you if they want to see some more either Captain America runs or Batman runs? Where can they find you?
I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/chickennuggets. You can also find me on YouTube, same name. And yeah.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I mean, it goes without saying, a world record by 4 minutes means an incredible run, obviously. So thanks for putting on a show for us. For everyone out there who is watching still, do not forget that SGDQ 2022 on-site volunteer applications are open from now until April 20th. And if you're interested in volunteering at the tech station, camera ops, photography, donation station, we got a lot of different roles for you. You can go on over to gamesdonequick.com and get some more information on that. Additionally, like I mentioned in the middle of the run, the attendance for in-person SGDQ 2022 attendance is now live. I believe there are still spots open, so you go on over to gamesdonequick.com and see if you're interested, and see if you can snag an attendance spot if you're going to be there. Other than that, stay tuned. We got another show right after, which is going to be That's Never Happened Before, which is an excellent glitch showcase kind of show, and we're going to be featuring Skyrim today. So we're going to have some excellent Skyrim content for you. But for everyone else, thank you for watching. We'll see you in 2 weeks for our next episode of Awfully Silly. And my name is Conception, and yeah, we'll see you next time.